When they're wet, they're going to look a little darker and slicker overall. Stellar sea lions are also much larger. Full-grown male stellar sea lions can be 13 feet long and over 2,000 pounds. The females, though, are a little slimmer and trimmer, down around the 600 to 700 pound mark. And if you're outside, you can also hear that they make a very distinctive growling noise. That's kind of one of the other defining differences between them. Now this area out around Bullhead is what they call a Haulout area, which is basically just a big lounge. This is just a place that they kind of hang out, eat and sleep, and as you can hear, argue quite a bit. All these animals are all juvenile males and juvenile females. None of these are fully grown yet. You will see a couple in here that are a little bit bigger than some of the others. And these are what the scientists politely refer to as unsuccessful males. They are basically not big enough or aggressive enough to hold a territory out at the rookery areas or the breeding grounds. So they kind of get kicked out of there and back here to bully everybody else around for another year or two until they bulk up a little bit. Now you might be able to make out a few of them over there that have a brand on their hides. It's usually a letter followed by a number, or an equal sign followed by a number. The reason for the branding is because stellar sea lions were under some study here for about the last 10 years. Stellar sea lions were put on the endangered species list back in 1990 because their population numbers dropped by about 80% over 30 years. And there was no sign as to when that decrease might stop. So they've been placed on the endangered species list, primarily for the western population. But in an effort to study them, scientists started going out to the rookery areas, or the breeding grounds, capturing some of the pups that are born out there each year, giving them a letter indicating the island in which they're born on, and a number for each animal. Now, overall, there's only 8 islands around Alaska in which these animals are born on. The closest rookery to us is about 50 miles away off to our left. The furthest one is over 855 miles away, all the way at the end of the Aleutian chain. But out here at Bullhead, we've seen animals from all 8 islands at one time or another, so they do have a fairly broad range that they do tend to travel around. Fortunately for us, the populations here in south central Alaska and down in the southeast, the populations were constantly slowly growing. But the populations out west, from about Resurrection Bay out to the end of the Aleutian chain, were declining up until about last year. Sea lions out here don't usually have too much to worry about. About the only predator that will pick on these guys would be a group of transient orcas. But the transient orca is also one of the easier prey rather than a fully grown and wily adult sea lion. They will hang out around the rookery areas where the younger, not so educated pups are at. It's a little easier pickings for them. So these guys pretty much have a pretty calm time up here on Bullhead.